Hi there everyone and welcome back to the garden. My name's Diane and I garden here in the northeast of England, and I'm very excited today because I am going to finally get round to dressing my little courtyard area. So I'm going to take the camera off the tripod and I'll go and show you the space that I'm going to be working in. Right. So the courtyard area is right at the back of my house. It's a tiny little area. I apologize to everyone who's been watching my videos. You must be sick of hearing this. But for anyone new to the channel, this little courtyard area is very small. There's no soil at all. Everything grows in tubs. It's very shady. It gets very early morning sun, maybe till about 10 o'clock in the morning on this wall here. And by 10 o'clock, that's in deep shade for the rest of the day. This little area over here, this section here, stays in sun the longest, and that's in sun until about, say, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I have a skinny little area here between where the gate opens and where the garage door opens that I like to dress. So the flooring is block paving, and it's also on a slant, which is good for drainage, but a bit difficult when you come to dress your pots. So in this area, I grow my Japanese acers, I grow lots of hostas, lots of them, which this year, because I've split them, so and I got about 2 or 3 hostas from each plant, so that's great. I've increased my stock there. I grow brunnera. I have lots of pots of ferns. So I'll put a picture up of what this little courtyard area usually looks like. So yes, it's very pretty. So these are my pots of ferns. This is just an old recycling tub, and you can see the ferns are starting to unfurl there, and that's just in the last couple of days. This fern over here is miles ahead of every other fern. And I don't know whether this is a shuttlecock fern or whatever, but I mean, he's just come up like that, I would say, in the last fortnight. So this is a picture of what he's like when he's almost fully grown. It's hard to believe that in a matter of weeks, these will go from dead stumps with a few brown sticks in to amazing ferns. Right, so I've got some other acers out here, lovely big acer there, waiting to go into the courtyard. More hostas around here, just waiting in the wings. I'm going to put the link in the description box below to my plant stands video, what I use as plant stands, and that'll sort of explain, well, it'll show you the kind of things that I use to slot in between these heavier pots, and in order to elevate certain other plants. Because I like a sort of tapestry effect, and obviously I like things that show up against the black wall on the bottom, and things like that red acer there that show up against that willow green of the stucco there. I also use lots of heucheras because I think they are just an invaluable source of colour, early colour. Got some beautiful ones here. I've got, this is watermelon. I think that's ginger marmalade. I'm not sure what that one is. That one is plum pudding. They're just gorgeous. Right, so in my plant stand video, I showed you all of the things that I've used for many years, that I've collected over the years, little shabby tables and umbrella stands, things like that that I use as plant stands to elevate my plants. So they are in the garage now because I've painted them all black. So yes, all set. Let's get these into position and start dressing this courtyard. So I'll take the rotor stack down. Put his very smart black cover on because I find then he just sort of disappears. I just stop looking at him. So this is a utility area. So I hang all my washing out here. And I think, as I say in the plant stand video, when this is full of washing, it whizzes around like a helicopter blade with all the washing on. So anything that I dress, so any plants that I have to be sort of kept to the sort of outside of the area, otherwise the washing would just snap any ferns and things. Right, so the first thing that I like to do is I like to position the big, heavy plants and tables first. So this is a table that has been languishing in our garage for at least a decade. He was pretty hideous, but he's really heavy and substantial. So, and I've never used him before in this garden. So my original idea was that I was going to put the tree fern on here, so the canopy would be right up here, and he would look a lot taller than he was. And then I would disguise the table with something, because when I had the tree fern down on the ground last year, it was beautiful. But this is my outside tap, so I had to sort of duck under his leaves to get the hose connected to the tap, and I snapped one of his leaves off. I've never forgiven myself for that. So I thought, yes, I'll put him up here and disguise the table with something tall and narrow that I can get past more easily. But now I think I'm going to put that big acer up there. Right, so what I think I'm going to use in his place is this beautiful acer here. This is gorgeous. Lovely chartreuse green with red border all the way around. And what I'll do is, once he's in place, I'll have to wait until someone comes home though to help me lift him up onto the table that I'm going to use, because he's just so heavy. What I'll do is I'll paint his pot black, like those other plant stands that I've painted, and I just use a multi-surface paint. So I can just hear my husband's returned home, so before he gets settled, I'll go and ask him if he can give me a hand to lift that acer onto the table. So there we go. What do you think of that? I think that looks lovely. And you can imagine I'll paint that tub black, and you'll not even see the tub then, you'll just see the acer. But I don't want to paint him black now, because I'll be working around him and I'll just get covered in black paint. So you just have to imagine him black. As I say, I concentrate on getting the big things into place first. Right, so So I'll just put this nice zingy bit of foliage in there, like that. I think I might keep her there. She's very pretty. So I think I'll leave this tub of ferns roughly in this area. Get rid of some of that rubbish around him. Still getting leaves blowing in here. Don't know where they come from this time of year. Right. So this fern is years and years old. I know he grows right up here, spills out, covers the front of this pot. But until he does that, I usually camouflage the ugliness of the container with smaller plants like the hostas. Right, so I'm not going to mess around too much, like sort of fussing over how to finish dressing this table, because you know, I've got some pansies here. I could put pansies and pop them into there. I would just put these in individual pots and then stand the pots on the surface in there. Or I could put some nice zingy heuchera in. Let's have a look. You know, this kind of colour. Just stand the pots in, straight down they have to be, so that when I water, these get watered as well. If I put them on their side like that for display, they wouldn't get the rainwater or anything. So that would be nice, having this watermelon heuchera there, because it would just sort of pick up the pink in the acer leaf there. And then I could dress the front again. This is going to be black, so I could dress the front with hostas and sort of build it up that way. But at the moment I just want to concentrate, as I've said, on getting the big structures in place. Right, so this is interesting. If you haven't seen the plant stand video, I'll show you what that red acer is standing on there. And he is standing on a bathroom tidy. And I've just popped him in. So I just stood the bathroom tidy down there. And then I'll wedge him. He's wedged in between this big acer and this big box. I'll push the box further back. So this is the actual size of that acer there. You know, he's not very tall, but he's got a beautiful angle to him. He's just naturally spilling forward. And if we look at that piece of the display without him there, it's pretty, but it's very green. So on your acers, sometimes you get a bit of dye back there. You see how this stick is white, but this part of the stick is red. You just take it back, take him off there, just so that they're in the nicest possible condition when you put them into place. And then he just fits in there. Beautiful. And again, that red acer just picks up the pink tips in that one. Right, so at the moment I am still bemoaning the fact that I haven't got my glorious tree fern up there. But at the moment, I think that acer there really sort of bookends that acer there. Right, so now we need to start building up a bit of height in the middle. Right, so I'll talk about this in a minute. This old chimney of mine, which I'm going to be using as a plant stand. to elevate something there, but I want to try this in place first. So I've got a flat, one of the last bits of flat paving here over this drain, and I'm hoping he'll fit there. What you have to remember is that these plants are nowhere near fully grown, most of them. The acers, they're very slow growing, but the hostas, the hydrangeas, the foxgloves, the ferns, everything will grow massive. So I find it's easier just getting things into place now whilst they're small, and then I can adapt accordingly as they grow. Right, so I'll just come through here and see if this table will fit there. It'd be great if it does. Now, will he fit on there? Oh, yes. Oh, I'm delighted with that. So he's not blocking the drain at all. Right, so I'll go and get a cloth and give him a wipe. I could put some of my hostas up here. And again, these have just started to grow now, so these will get huge. This is my latest one, and I've got a little nibble there, but I can't see a slug anywhere. But what I found last year was that the hostas that I elevated, there was only one of them and he grew massive. He was left untouched by the slugs. All the hostas that I put on the bottom just got shredded. Do I need it all that same sort of, it's almost sort of pistachio green, isn't it? What that looks like in there. Yeah, I think that. And I know that in 2 weeks' time, there's no way those three hostas will fit on that table. I'll probably actually only have room for him. But at the moment, I want it to look lovely and I want them up off the floor. Right, what about that? Yes, I like that much better. Not so sure about that, Asa, because they're so slow growing. I don't like the stick showing there. Anyway, I'll think about him later. Okay, so it's 2 hours later. The heavens just opened. We've had a deluge of rain, so everything is soaked. If you skip back to the beginning of the video and look at what that heuchera looked like 2 hours ago and how it's sort of so bedraggled looking now, and this one, you know, they're just dripping wet, but they'll be absolutely fine. So it's still sort of drizzling, so I hope the camera's going to be all right, and we'll just crack on. Right, this is going to be very much a do as I say, not as I do, so you have to watch your backs. I am used to moving very heavy things. I've done it for years. There's always that one time, isn't there? So if you have got someone that can give you a hand, do ask for help. Right. Oh, he's very vulnerable there in front of that tap. I would be careful, but would everybody else? So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put him sideways on like that. Put him in there. Oh, he hasn't got much room to go in there. I could do with something really tall and narrow in there. Right, I've had a rethink, so I'm going to take that crate out from there and put him behind that ace and putting a hoster on there. And this is just the way it is. I probably spend about, I don't know, in total about 3 hours doing this, but then once it's done for the year. And you can just play around with the plants as they grow and as they go over. So yes, if I put him there and then push the acer up, I hope you can see that. Right, okay, so now we can put a beautiful splash of chartreuse up there, and he will fill that area there. Move him out a bit. Yeah, gorgeous. Right, and then I'm thinking I don't like this area. I don't like to be able to see that table there. So I'm going to get rid of that for the minute. And I'm going to use this old umbrella stand. I'm going to put him there. Tuck him right in there. And then I'll find another hoster. Right, what about this one with a nice variegated leaf? That's better. Yeah, that's much better. So these are very young. You'll be sick of me saying it, but they will grow and spill and fill in the area. Right? And then we need something to camouflage that. Right. Okay, we're getting there. Right, so my thinking is to disguise the front of this recycling box. I've got this piece of rusty old metal, which I picked up from a recycling plant years ago. Right, so I'm thinking if I put him down there, the slugs hate rusty metal, so I can put my hostess on there and hopefully that will safeguard them. He's actually in a metal tub to start with, so yeah, I think we need something in that area to sort of make the transition between this pot and this umbrella stand. What about him? Yeah. Right. Not even sure what he is, but I love his foliage. Right. So that's okay. Right. So I'm having a rethink of this area. Not happy with that. Take that little table out of there. And what I have got is this lovely black narrow plant stand, and he can go right in that slot there. He won't trip anybody up if I push him further and back. And I tried this out the other day with my hostess and I loved it when I was doing the charity shop plant stand haul. Right, so what can we have in there? Right, so what I'm thinking is a bit of green in the middle, and then just to break this run of green up here, I'm going to put a nice heuchera, a red heuchera at the bottom, so it sort of draws the eye down a bit. Right, so in this little area here, I'm governed by the fact that my garage door opens and can sort of swing back to there, so I can't put anything very wide there. In fact, I need to put a doorstop on. And on this side, the garden gate opens to there. So I've got this very old bamboo in a very tall, narrow black pot there. There is a video out a couple of weeks ago on this where I make this plant ladder out of an old ladder, and I screw the black pots to it, and then you can dress it whichever way you want. If this was a sunny position, you could have geraniums, but because I'm in a shady area, it's to display my heucheras. So I need something tall there and green. So I'm thinking this hydrangea is lovely in a tall, narrow black pot. So he will fill out there and he'll look nice until the pots of black ferns start spilling out, and then I'll probably put a fern there. But if you look around the rest of the courtyard, what jumps out at me is that pop of sort of chartreuse, that yellowy, zingy, is it lime green? Beautiful. So I've got that, the redness, the lime green, and over here I've got the redness and the lime green on one side, but I think that bamboo looks a bit stark there. So what I've found is, just outside the side entrance to my house, I found this lovely pot with another heuchera. I think this is called lime marmalade. Not sure what that is. And this is London Pride, a variegated London Pride. So, you know, I think he would look very nice there. And it just gives that sort of pop of colour. What I have to remember is that I have to get the pushchair through here. Now, will the pushchair go through? This is going to move. That's going to stay. Maybe if I move this like that, so it's facing into the courtyard. Yeah. Or I could put him there. Yeah, I like that better, but I do need something small to go in the other side. And what could I put there? Maybe another little hydrangea. Yeah, just balance it out a bit. Right, onto the last section. Right, so the final bit that I have to dress is this area here. And I like to dress this area because I like a barrier here, so that when, well, I've done it myself, when I come along here, I don't just step off that, because that's quite steep compared to down here in front of the doors. So if there are plants there, I'm much happier. Particularly as we have a 2-year-old who likes to play around here. So this is an astleby. He's lovely, and I think he's a sort of similar foliage to the acer there, maybe a bit too similar. So I'll separate him out a bit, and then so this is my old chimney, which rusted through this year. And I've discovered that he makes a very handy plant stand because he has a hole in the top where the smoke used to come out of. So this trailing geranium looks lovely in there, I think. And because this is the sunny corner, well, comparatively sunny, that geranium will be fine there. What does that look like? Yep, take this little one out. I've got a solar panel up on the roof here, and just a little fountain there that trickles water, so that sounds lovely when that's running. Right, I'm going to try something. I don't know whether I'm going to like it or not. Right, I'm going to try this Nandina in this beautiful pot here. So I think we'll move him away so that you see the structure of that. Whereas when he's closer to the acer there, you sort of lose the effect. And I'll put that pot up there with the Nandina in. I'll give all these pots a nice wash down. As I say, it rains so hard, it's got that sort of splashback effect. You know, I think I need something quite frothy there. Right. Right, what I've got out of the white garden here is a lovely aqualesia. That's better. Nice wallflower in the front there. As I say, I'll be changing things around as the plants go over. Yes, I'm much happier with that. Just a nice mix of foliage. And they're nice and big, so the baby's not going to forget or push them over. He'll walk round the back there and then off the step at the narrowest point. Right, so I'll give you a final walk through and see the finished effect. As I say, I'll come back out and I'll wash all the pots, paint that one black. Go around the washing line. It's nice to see it from different angles as well. So I hope you can tell I've sort of carried that red and chartreuse green over to the other side. So it all feels connected, all part of the same garden. And then I think this Astelby is a dark red one. Not sure what colour the aqualesia is going to be. And then I've got the lime green and the dark red foliage of this gorgeous but very unusual acer. I always thought it was two, but it's as though one is grafted onto the other one at the base. I actually dug him up out of the back garden last year and popped him in that pot, and he's just never looked back, and he was completely lost when I put him in the garden. So I'll put a link to that video as well. So there we are, we got there in the end. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope it's given you some ideas that no matter how small an area, and I must measure this area one day for you, but it's tiny, all uneven, and I don't know whether I mentioned at the beginning, the first year we moved in here 15 years ago, it was just the bin store. I use it every day when it's not raining to hang my washing out and that, but I want to be surrounded by beautiful things, so beautiful living foliage. So I really love it. It's my favourite part of the garden, this. So yes, thank you so much for watching as always, and do come back and watch my other videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye.